Welcome to the tutorials for education reinforcement items. These tutorials will cover education reinforcement item classification and filling out the request form. This video will be focusing on filling out the request form. If you need to watch a separate section, click on that section to be taken to the video for it. If you have found that the ERI you plan to order has followed all of the rules set by the state, you can fill out the ERI request form. If you are unsure whether or not your ERI will follow these rules, click on this link to be taken to the ERI classification tutorial. Your appointed unit manager should send you the request form, so be sure to contact them if you haven't received it. The form is a one-page Word document with several different sections you will need to fill in with information about the ERI you plan to order. There are a couple documents you will need to go alongside this form: a quote from the source with a total including tax, and a link to the item or a picture of the item to attach to the form. You will also need to reference your work plan for parts of this form, so be sure to have it available. Let's go over filling out the form from the top down. Contractor name refers to the name of your county office. Item information requires you to describe the ERI you are trying to purchase. Only one item should go on a request form, so if you are requesting more than one type of ERI, you will need to fill out a separate form for each item. Item description requires a description of the specific item. Be sure to include a link to the item or attach a photo to the form. Nutrition or physical activity message is asking for the message that corresponds to the item that you are requesting or the message that will be displayed on the ERI. Total number of items asks for the total amount of ERIs that you are requesting to purchase. Remember, if you are requesting more than one ERI, you will need to fill out a separate form for each, so be sure you have split up the item totals accordingly. Total cost includes tax and shipping, so ensure that you have that information included in the cost. And once again, be sure to split up the item totals accordingly if you are requesting more than one type of ERI. Cost per item refers to the cost of each individual item. ERIs are typically purchased in a bulk rate. If the quote does not give you a price per item, divide the total cost by the amount of ERIs purchased to get the price per item. Work plan requires you to connect the ERIs you plan to purchase with your county's work plan. The first part asks for the specific strategies that these ERIs will support. The second part asks for the specific objectives which describe activities that will be supported by the ERIs. You will only need the numbers that correspond to your work plan in this section, so be sure that everything matches correctly. Distribution plan requires you to detail how the item will be distributed. For the first subsection, describe the audience that will be receiving the items. For the second subsection, enter the time frame that the ERIs will be given out over. For the third subsection, enter the type of location or activities where the items will be handed out. The last section is for a description of how the message the ERI sends connects with the interventions that are completed by your county. Be as descriptive as possible of how this ERI ties into the intervention and why it is necessary to support it. Once you have completed this form, email it to your appointed unit manager with any attachments needed. This concludes the tutorial for the ERI form. If you have any questions, contact your RC or the accounting team.